In the previous video, I had discussed how easy it is to build a basic Gradio app, but the real power of Gradio comes with its rich variety of input and output components. Whether you're working with images, text, audio, video, or any other files, Gradio provides a ready-made UI elements to make your model interactive with just a few lines of code. In this video, I will be explaining how do we create a text box and what are its various parameters. In Gradio, a text box is a component used to receive a plain text input from the user. This input can be a sentence, prompt, number, or any other text-based data. Here is a breakdown of how to use the text box in Gradio with explanation for each key parameter. How do we create a text box? To create a text box, we will use gr.textbox as a method. So this text box is a method which is going to create a text box. So let me also discuss the various parameters that we can pass to a text box. The first parameter which we can pass is a label, where label is going to display the name shown above the text box in the interface. This also helps the user to understand what to enter. To give an example, we'll have gr.textbox and pass label as an argument, and we'll give a name to a label as enter your name and then close it. So now enter your name will act as a label that helps the user to understand what to enter. The next parameter which we can pass to a text box is lines, where lines is going to help you to control the height of the text box by specifying how many lines tall it should be. The default value of the line is 1, or if you want to increase the number of lines that you wanted to input as a paragraph, then the line value can be increased. To give an example, I'll use gr.textbox and then I will pass a label and give a name to a label, that is a prompt, and then I can pass lines as another argument where I can specify 5 as a value. If I do not specify the line value, by default the value is 5. This is going to help me to decide the height of the text box by specifying how many lines tall my text box should be. The next parameter which I can use it in the text box is the placeholder, where placeholder is a text that appears inside the text box before the user types anything, and this is also going to serve as a hint. This is useful for guiding the user on what to input. To give an example, we'll use gr.textbox and then I will pass label as a parameter and I'll give a name to it. So I'll give the name as prompt to it and then pass another parameter which is placeholder, and in this case my placeholder is type something new is the placeholder, where this placeholder is going to be useful for guiding the user on what to input. The next parameter which I can pass to a text box is a value, where it is the default value that appears in the text box when the interface loads. And this is a pre-fills the text box with commonly used example or suggestion. So to use value, let's see how it can be used in the text box. That is gr.textbox. Then I'll pass a label as first parameter. And then the name of my parameter can be prompt. This is a string and you can pass whatever that you want based on your requirement. Then I'll pass another argument called as a value, which is in this case, I'll type it as once upon a time. So where once upon a time will be a default prefill the text box within commonly used example. Okay, so now what we will do is we will create a graphical user interface which has a text box, and let's try passing all these parameters by creating a program, and let's execute a program. So To do that, let's first of all create and import the package, that is import Gradio, and pass create alias name to my Gradio. And then I'm going to create a function called as a greet, and then pass name as an argument to it. So once I have created, I will have to return a value. So in this case, so this is my return value where I would like to return a name with the hello string. Name will be based on the input that whatever that I pass through my text box. So once I have done with this, so now let me create the interface. To create the interface, I'll be using a variable called as a demo, and demo is equals to gr dot. To create the interface, I'll be using a method called as interface. So with respect to this, I have to invoke my function. The function is equals to greet in this case, and then pass my argument, which is inputs. In this case, my input is to create the text box. To create the text box, we have text box as the input method. It's an inbuilt method, whatever that we have. Let's pass another argument, which is the label. Label is the first argument which I can pass it to a text box label, and then a label would be your name, and then I will pass one more argument. In this case, my one more argument is lines, and then I'll give the value of lines is equals to 1. And the next parameter which I would like to place is the placeholder. So where the placeholder in this case is enter your name, and then I would also like to pass a value here. So value is equals to something like, I will just pass it as ABC, that is my a value, default value, and then I have to display the entire thing with an output. So whatever the input that I have given through a text box, that input will be passed to the function called as the greet, and it has to display it. So to display, I'll be using another parameter called as puts, and then what I have to put, I have to display my text. So once it's been done, so it's time to launch my interface. To launch my interface, I'll be using demo dot launch. So now I think we have completed with the program. And before I explain this program again, let us run the program and see what is our output. So there is a small error in this program. So let's figure it out. What would be the error in this program? So there is a typo mistake here, which is Gradio as gr. And let me rerun this. Yes, we have fixed the error. Now the program has got successfully executed. My Collabs is trying to create the interface. Now you can see a graphical user interface is being created with a text box. Now you can see we have all the parameters being fulfilled. So we have a label where the label is the display name shown above your text box. So this is your text box. Above it, we have got my label, and then this is going to tell me how many number of lines are there with respect to a text box. Now I have given the value as 1. So we have only one single line which is available. And then you can see the placeholder. The placeholder is the enter your name, and then we have the value. By default, you had seen that the value was ABC. So that is the default value, whatever that you're going to enter. And now we will also see by changing the number of lines here. If I want to enter a paragraph, so let me give the value of lines as 5 and rerun this program. So it takes a bit of time to get executed. Now you can see the height of the text box has increased as you have changed the lines here. So This is how you create a text box with the help of a Gradio. And that's a quick overview of Gradio text box component with just a few parameters. You can customize it for a variety of text inputs in your apps. Try it and see how easy it should build an interactive UI with the Gradio. Thank you.